Unbelievable paranormal activity. Ghosts caught on film. Watch this first clip and tell me what you see before I say a word. A cleaner steps into a dim bedroom. The camera tilts just enough to catch a dark shape lingering in a doorway, and then the door eases open by itself, as if pushed from the other side. The cleaner doesn't wait to find out who or what is there. That almost looks like something you'd expect in a horror movie, but this is grab-and-go footage from someone's home. People who lived there had already left, reportedly haunted. I'm your host, and tonight we're running through 8 clips where viewers say ghosts were literally caught on camera. Decide for yourself. The first clip comes from an abandoned rental where neighbors said tenants kept leaving after strange noises and cold spots. A cleaner hired to prepare the place for the next showing walks through a poorly lit room, cleaning supplies in hand. The setup is mundane. Dust motes in a single shaft of light, an overturned chair, a calendar on the wall stuck on an old month. Then the camera, mounted on the cleaner's phone, catches movement in the doorway. A shadowy figure, not a clear person, edges into the frame and freezes near the jamb. The door then glides inward on its own, not slammed, but pushed in the slow, deliberate way of someone testing the threshold. The cleaner hesitates, tucks the phone into her pocket, and walks out without finishing the job. The aftermath is simple. She never returned to clean that room again, and the owner later said tenants had complained about feeling watched. A possible skeptical explanation, uneven flooring or a hidden strong draft, could make an unsecured door move. You decide if that slow, deliberate opening looks mechanical or something else. Next, we jump to an abandoned hospital morgue where Celeste Roas recorded what she called one of the strangest nights she's ever spent on the job. The corridor is tiled, fluorescent lights flickering. At first, the camera frames idle equipment, a metal gurney parked against the wall, an old IV pump tipped to one side. The reveal comes in 3 short beats. Elevator doors that should be dead on a decommissioned bank begin to close and then reopen on their own. A cart slides across a linoleum patch with no visible touch, and the gurney gradually rolls a few feet down an empty hallway as if an invisible hand gave it a nudge. Celeste follows at a distance, curiosity outweighing fear, but she says she never repeated that particular night's patrol again. The footage feels clinical and cold. The ordinary hospital sounds make the anomalies pop. Skeptical note: failing casters, a sloped floor, or a residual mechanical charge in old equipment can produce unexpected motion. Still, 3 separate devices acting in sequence on camera is hard to shrug off. If you thought that was eerie, the next one turns the domestic into the uncanny. Deborah is a caregiver who left a phone recording while tending to a bedridden client. The room is cramped, the kind of setup where privacy and safety are constant concerns. On the footage, we see Deborah moving between rooms, then stopping as her phone label shows she's still recording. What makes viewers uneasy is a second figure entering a doorway in the video, not on a security cam, but on an accidental handheld clip, and lingering without interacting. Later in the same recording, a voice that sounds exactly like the bedridden client calls from outside Deborah's bathroom door, saying something brief and panicked. Deborah insists the client couldn't possibly have left the bed, and the family who shared the clip is baffled. The reaction is visceral. Deborah later says she felt like something followed her home that night. Skeptical alternative: audio splicing or an imitation could explain the distant voice, and handheld cameras can pick up overlapping sounds that get misattributed. Even with that possibility, the footage of an unaccounted-for silhouette entering a room leaves viewers uneasy. One of the most shared sequences involves a man named Ivan and a doll that shows up on his security camera, behaving in ways he swears it shouldn't. The setup is the classic haunted toy situation. A packaged doll sits on a shelf inside a closed room, surrounded by boxes. The reveal is dead simple and, for many, deeply unnerving. The doll's head seems to turn, or the doll shifts position within its box, as if nudged. Later videos posted by Ivan show him introducing a second older doll with worn eyes and a damaged face to the setting, which many fans compare to infamous haunted dolls in pop culture. The follow-up clip, where the two dolls end up repositioned in the same video, fuels a narrative of escalation. Viewers debated whether mechanical parts, loose packaging, or clever editing were to blame. Skeptical take: vibration from passing traffic or slight shelf movement can rotate unsecured objects. Some argue that toys with articulated heads will move if the box is disturbed. Still, a doll apparently adjusting itself on a static shelf makes for creepy viewing. And the choice to add a second doll in subsequent uploads invites more theories than answers. The pattern of everyday items acting out continues in the case of Jorge and his family, which began after a strange event at their local church. After lights in the sanctuary flickered during a service, Jorge's household reported a sudden series of small but alarming incidents. A wall cross flipped to the floor, a television remote was found tossed into the hallway, and a baby's cradle rocked, though no one reported near it. A short clip shared by Jorge shows a lamp swinging slightly when nobody is visible in the room, and another clip shows a remote sliding off a table toward the edge before falling. The family's reaction was to leave their home briefly, and the comments on the original upload quickly suggested religious intervention, with viewers urging priests, pastors, or blessing rituals. A skeptical explanation keeps things mundane. Electrical surges can cause lights to flicker, loose fixtures can swing, and a small draft or vibration can nudge light objects. Yet when a sequence of unrelated items move in the same household within days, many find that explanation incomplete. If the Jorge clips play on household anxiety, Franco, who sometimes goes by Frank, brings a more classic ghost hunt energy to his solo investigation of a decaying mansion rumored to house a childlike presence. The approach here is investigative. Franco sets up a cam, listens for cues, and methodically moves from room to room. The footage starts with faint, toy-like sounds in an empty parlor, a small tin rattle that could be wind through broken windows. Then a face appears at a second-floor window, a pale outline of a child pressed close to the glass, flickering in and out of focus as clouds pass. Later, as Franco examines a closed door, the camera captures an arm, small, pale, and brief, pushing the door open from the inside. The investigator swears he felt a chill and a presence at that moment. Reactions in the comments range from admiration for Franco's composure to outright fear. A skeptical note: reflections, passing headlights, or simple mirror effects can produce a face-like image at a window, and a loose latch could let a gust swing a door. Yet the combination of toy sounds, a face at glass, and an apparent small hand opening a door is a sequence that, to many, reads like an apparition moving organically through space. Midway through tonight's list, we get a duo with a reputation online: Mysterio JL. They explored an abandoned building with a local legend about a boy who died there years earlier. The footage starts with them sweeping a large, empty stairwell and discussing the history in hushed tones. They capture an audio beat first, a faint call, undeniably childlike, whispering "Mama" from somewhere above. The camera lifts, and there, on an upper landing, a small figure stands and then appears to run, a dark smear against the light, before vanishing behind a wall. The duo reacts with alarm, calling out and rushing to the spot where no one is found. The investigators leave with questions and a clip that many viewers labeled the most chilling of the night. Skeptical alternative: sound can travel in strange ways across building cavities, and a passing passerby or trespasser might create a fleeting silhouette. Editing could also accentuate a motion blip. Still, the captured call and the fleeting figure combine into a sequence that feels difficult to reconcile with simple explanations. The final clip on the compilation goes back to a home video from 2013, a child riding a skateboard through a kitchen while a handheld camera follows. It's casual, sunlit, ordinary. until the chair at the dining table slides dramatically as if yanked and the kitchen door slams with force. The family's pet reacts instantly, barking and racing away. The child skates past oblivious while the person holding the camera freezes, framing the slammed door. The result is a simple home movie moment that becomes uncanny. A household object appears to be pulled with intent. Commenters have long been split. Some insist on prank or rope. Others point to editing or missed camera angles. And a persistent group believes it captures an actual unseen interaction. The skeptical one-liner. Kids and pets often stage pranks, and an off-camera sibling or a quick edit can create the illusion of an unseen force. That said, the way the chair leaves the floor and the synchronized pet reaction create a ripple of unease in the clip. If we step back and look at all these clips together, a pattern starts to form. Objects animate. Chairs, dolls, remotes, and hospital equipment all shift without obvious human contact. There's a strong recurring motif of childlike presence, sounds that mimic playthings, a voice calling "Mama," a face at a window, a small arm pushing through a door. The domestic becomes uncanny. Ordinary living rooms and abandoned corridors are where the strange chooses to show itself. For each footage beat, we give one plausible mundane cause. Drafts, faulty hinges, mechanical failure, opportunistic pranksters, reflections. All these can account for some of what we see. But across 8 different clips, filmed in homes, hospitals, mansions and ruins, the same types of anomalies keep cropping up. And that repetition is part of why these videos spread so fast online. A few moments deserve special attention because they compound visuals. Think back to Ivan's doll moving on a shelf, Franco's childlike arm opening a door, and the Mysterio JL clip where a childlike voice calls out. Taken together, those 3 elements, animating objects, the small physical push, and a child's presence, create an emotional sequence that reads to many as deeply unsettling. The dolls bring the uncanny into our hands. The door pushed by a small limb translates that uncanny into agency. The child's voice supplies an identity that makes the phenomenon personal. That symmetry across different settings is what elevates these clips from isolated oddities to a pattern people can't easily ignore. I want to be clear. None of this is offered as proof that ghosts exist. The framing in each clip stays careful, allegedly captured, reported, viewers say, because there are too many plausible, non-paranormal explanations to rule out hoaxes or accidents. Still, the footage raises real questions about what cameras capture when humans aren't directly controlling the frame. Cameras see heat, motion, light, and sound in ways we don't always register live. They also preserve moments we can revisit, scrutinize, and debate. That is the core of why caught-on-film videos are so compelling. They give us raw evidence to interrogate, not a polished conclusion to take at face value. Before I wrap up, if you're the kind of person who loves real ghost footage and wants more compilations like this, hit subscribe. We'll keep digging and keep presenting footage responsibly. Now as a final pitch, which moments in tonight's roundup did you find most convincing? Was it the cleaner walking away from a door that opened on its own, Celeste's array of moving hospital equipment, Deborah's recorded voice at the bathroom door, Ivan's doll that seems to shift, the household disturbances at Jorge's home, Franco's small hand at a doorway, Mysterio JL's mama call and fleeing silhouette, or the 2013 skateboard clip where a chair is yanked and the door slams? I'll pick my top 3 because I can't help it. The hospital sequence for the clinical oddity of multiple devices moving, Franco's mansion for the personal, almost tactile apparition, and Mysterio JL's clip for the raw emotional power of a child's voice on an empty stair. Now it's your turn. Vote in the comments, real or fake. Tell us which clip convinced you and why. If you have footage you think we should review, share it, but only submit clips you own or have permission to share. If you want more deep dives like this, like the video and subscribe. I'll keep hunting for footage that forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. Whether you're a skeptic who sees physics and prank behind every frame, or a believer convinced by patterns and repetition, these clips do one thing well. They make us look twice at the world around us. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.